Hola a todos! Today is, I show you the last part of our little series of time management. And this one is the painful part, which I call chaos mode. Chaos mode, well, if you've seen the last videos, there were always situations where I had tasks left over, but actually no time where to put them. And in the first video of this series, I showed you that I like to organize my tasks in a long timeline. And so the next few days will be expanded, so I have days where to put these things. But it doesn't really make sense to put tasks or a lot of tasks into the far future. So when I'm in a situation, I have things left over and the next few weeks are already planned, doesn't really make too much sense to take these things and put them into like months from now, because what do I know what's happening in a few months? All those tasks that I want to do until then might not be fully finished. They may change stuff, and yeah, why would I know whether I'm doing this in 8 or 10 weeks from now? This is really hard to tell. So here's again my to-do list from August, and this is the one where I kept everything in that I had deleted in the examples before. And you see at this time I had almost 220 tasks. I mean, this number doesn't really mean a lot. These could be very small tasks, it could be very large tasks, and there's a lot of variation in here, but like on average it tells me I have too much to do. This is not a normal number for me. This is really where I really felt under pressure. This is nothing that I want to see on my to-do list. So first thing that you should always try is to get rid of stuff. So we had the planning mode last time. If you can, if it's somehow possible to maybe stop or put a topic to sleep. So just really a bigger block to say, hey, this has to wait. This is something that is not a big priority now. Let's first finish one thing and then go on to the next. In this case, this was not possible for me because it was all todoListo related. I wanted to finish in the sense of being able to release it. So this is why I could not really get rid of any of those things. So what I did was to use the sections not only for this temporal dimension, but as a kind of extra category. So here's a big block, a big section with subsections of tasks that I want to get done or wanted to get done. And so I could have put that into a category and then put all those things into this, like having no tasks, having no section, but we already have tasks without sections. And for me, it helped to have them close by, so they're not too far away. I won't forget fully about them. To be honest, the things without section is something I look at twice a year, if at all. So these are the things that are basically not on my to-do list. But these are the things that I really wanted to get done. So this is why they got the extra section. They are close, but not too close. So I know they are present. I know I have to work them off before taking on any new big things, but they are not in my mind all the time. So I can go through my list, do things one after the other without being bothered by all these tasks that I still have to do, but still having them close by. And when I have a time to an empty spot, I can get there and get the tasks out of this storage of tasks. Another little trick that you can do both in todoListo or whether you're using some kind of note-taking tool is to condense the tasks a little bit. So here, for example, there was I wanted to do some testing, and it has 5 subtasks. And this already looks scary. When I look at this, like, I don't even want to start. And it might be a lot of work, but especially since it's in this do later block, I know that this is something that I'm not going to do next week. It will be months from now. And in this case, does it really make sense to have this very granular planning of this is one thing I have to do, next thing, next thing, next thing? Not really. What you could do is to put those tasks into the notes. So it's kind of hidden. But that would mean I have 5 tasks less on my sum. This, of course, doesn't reduce the work. This is more a psychological thing to make the list look less scary. I'm not doing this too often because it's really just betraying yourself in a way. But sometimes when the number just gets too high and it looks too much, I like to put them together. And that also often allows me to be more flexible when I get to the time to do this task. When I already have these subtasks, it means to me, I should do them in this kind of order, just because I thought months ago that this would be a good idea. When I have things in the notes, it's much more clearer to me that I have to do some organizing and find my subtasks. And maybe the ones that I'm going to do will look completely different than the ones that I thought originally would be the order in which I would be the subtasks that need to be done. So this is also a trick to just find ways to visually condense your to-do list, then it doesn't look quite so scary. And a third thing is, when you have such a block of things that currently don't find a home in any of your temporal sections, make sure you look through them once in a while. That doesn't have to be every week, like in planning mode. I didn't go through those every week. But maybe when you're on a topic that kind of matches some of those, or just maybe it is a Friday and you just feel like looking through the tasks again, because sometimes magically some of them resolve themselves. Maybe you have done, or maybe have not done the full task, but are pretty close, and then just takes you a few minutes to get it done. Also, sometimes you can regroup things. Maybe there's a new task that you have thought you would do next week, and there's something similar in here. Then you can take it out and do these things together. So don't forget completely about those tasks. Or if you do, then really think about whether they are so really important to you. Then you might just as well delete them. Because deletion is always the best thing. A task that you don't have to do is the best one you can get. And not everything is important just because I decided a few months ago to write this down and find it important. Yeah, I mean, now it can be completely different. The situation has changed, and of course I'm fully entitled to change my opinion. This is something we should never forget. Yeah, this is what I have to offer in chaos mode. I mean, it's never a good feeling when you feel there's just too much. The best thing is really reduction. But in any case, at least you're aware of it. And this is, I think, an important point, to at least know where your limits are and make sure not to overload anymore. Because when you know that you're not going to make all of this, that's fine most of the time. You can manage it. There is something to manage. If you just wait for deadlines to pass and then there's nothing to manage. But maybe so the thing is, I like to have the decision of which of those tasks I'm doing and which get forgotten. If you don't have this overview, you still won't be able to do everything, but it will be fate that decides for you. Because some things just might slip your mind and you're not doing it ever, but that might have been the thing that would have been actually very important for you, while you've been doing other things just because somebody was sending 10 emails a day to you and that kind of seemed to be more important. So whether you're in normal mode, which I hope you are, or whether sometimes it gets a bit more chaotic, make sure that you're in control and you make the decisions of where you want to put your time. So I hope some of those tips are useful to you, and I hope to see you next time. Hasta luego.